There's pressure on the UK's energy sector,
as energy price rises threaten to push millions more into poverty.
Crisis talks in the energy sector.
January 2021. The UK, like most of the world, is focusing most of its attention on fighting the pandemic and dealing with its consequences. However, energy firms in the country are not having such a fun time either. One example is the small firm Simplicity Energy, which announced it will cease trading. Simplicity is falling into default as it doesn't have enough credit to cover increased costs of trading gas and electricity to their consumers. Simplicity Energy is far from the last provider struggling though. Shortly thereafter, Green Network Energy ceases operation, then Hub Energy, then Money Plus Energy, then PFP, Peoples, Utility Point, Avro. Why are energy companies collapsing? In the UK, energy is provided to consumers through energy suppliers. These suppliers pay for their energy at a wholesale price and essentially resell the product to customers. However, for several reasons, ranging from reduced production in wind energy, issues with nuclear, reduced capacity of gas production, in 2021 wholesale prices have significantly shot up in price. In a press release in April this year, the government regulator for electricity and gas, Ofgem, reported wholesale gas prices in the past year had increased as much as quadrupling. Now you may think, if wholesale prices increase, can't the firm simply pass the cost to the consumer for its business to remain viable? This is where the price cap comes into place. Ofgem has imposed caps on charges energy providers can place on consumers. To put it very simply, if the energy price cap were to be £100 per year, and the wholesale energy price increases to £200, the energy firm cannot easily pass this cost to the customer. As energy firms have not been able to adjust customer prices, many have found themselves unable to remain in business. However, the price cap is reviewed every 6 months. From April to September 2021, the cap was set at an average of £1,138 per year. In October 2021, this figure was increased to £1,277. However, the new cap did little to change the situation for firms experiencing exceptionally high new wholesale energy prices. Add into the mix that Europe's largest energy provider has decided to remove itself from the global market, and you get the perfect recipe for a disaster. With firm collapsing left and right and no sign in sight for things to get better, Ofgem had decided to adjust once again the cap, and this time significantly so. Which brings us to now. In April 2022, the energy cap has been monstrously raised to £1,971 per year. This is a massive £693 increase over the previous, already increased, rate of October last year. The average monthly energy bill has increased by about £60. This piles on top of already existing record inflation figures and increased taxes, prompting a real cost of living crisis.
Without government intervention, the increase in the price cap would leave the average household having to find an extra £693. The actions I'm announcing today will provide to the vast majority of households just over half of that amount, £350.
As you can imagine, the government started to feel real pressures on delivering a solution to the crisis. The key aspects of the government response for the short-term issue have been: first, a rebate of £150 for most households from council tax, meaning essentially residents can have this money which would have otherwise had been spent in taxes. Now, while any money is better than no money, you can simply look at the figures previously stated to realize that this step alone does very little to help those in real need. By the end of the third month on your increased energy bills, you'd already be facing losses, a quarter into the year. However, as you heard, the Chancellor and the government keep talking about help in the form of £350. That is more than double the money of the rebate. So where does the missing £200 come from? The second step is, as often called by ministers, a discount on bills. Customer will see £200 deducted from their monthly energy bill in October this year, which in itself sounds great. But they are going to have to repay this money in installments on their new energy bills for the next 5 years. So although technically this is not a loan, Well, you get some money now and you will repay it later in installments. Sounds awfully similar to a loan to me. Yes, they are helping those in most need by essentially putting them into further debt. While it is true that no interest is paid on the £200 and that technically the individual is not personally signing up for a loan, this move will still give a false illusion to consumers that the price of their bills have gone down, only to find out that the cost will be spread to their bills for the next 5 years, meaning their bills could be very much higher from 2023 onwards.
Assistance in paying their energy bill.
£200 is, of course, a loan.
It's not a loan. It is a discount,
but
which will then be taken back in the form of a levy.
You're not being given it, you have to pay it back.
No, not necessarily the individual. It gets taken back at the point at which it is levied. Yeah,
sorry, you're all shouting something. What are you all shouting?
I'm saying it's a loan.
It's not a loan.
Oh, and remember the £150 council tax rebate? The actual real support that is offered as part of this plan? Well, reports are starting to come in from residents in several councils that there are delays in the payment of these due to software issues which could last months. As of April, the government has now announced new plans for the future of energy in the United Kingdom, increasing nuclear and renewable energy. However, it has to be said that this does little to solve the current urgent issue of people facing massive surges on their energy bills, and is an awfully convenient way to avoid answering any difficult question about what these people face today, moving the focus on off-topic points such as how energy independent the UK would be by the year 2050.